Okay, so let's get into this. The Mega 65 and the Commodore 64X. We are like that I have in the hopper, and we're going to take a look at that. Now, before we get to it, well, we're not going to it in this video, but before we reach that point, I want to give a brief history and introduction in this video. Back in the day, eons ago, back in the dark ages. Hmm? Hmm? You remember those? You're old enough. Anyway, everyone bought, well, almost everyone bought Commodore who didn't have $1 billion. And my first Commodore was a Commodore VIC-20. Anyway, so, right. The where all this comes out is before it was dissolved, Commodore, that is, and went out of business, they were working on a continuation of the Commodore 64 line. This was dubbed the Commodore 65, or in some cases, the Commodore 64DX. And this would be like a more modernized version of the 8-bit to compete with other computers such as 186s and 286s coming out at the time. Anyway, at some point, someone got a hold of the concept plan and drawings of the Commodore 65. And over time, that turned into the Commodore, the Mega 65 project. The Mega 65 is an 8-bit FPGA computer. It's a lot more capable than the original Commodores would have been, but it's an odetta Commodore. Officially licensed? Yes. And it has a cartridge port on the back. It has a floppy drive port. It has, well, it has USB and HDMI also, and a VGA port. It's modern. Anyway, also it has analog ports for those wishing to do the whole joystick thing. Guess who has Commodore 64 games we can actually utilize? Uh-huh. So, yeah, we're going to be taking a look at that. It also has, since it's an FPGA, this figures, it has other, firmwares for it that can be installed along the native firmware. So, we have the Mega 65 firmware, which has, the original Commodore 65, a Commodore 64, and a Commodore 128 mode. And since I went right from being a VIC-20 girl into being a Commodore 128 girl, I can sort of dig that. Anyway, so, but it will play native Commodore 64 games like Frogger, Mrs. Pac-Man, Galaxian. I love these faces. Anyway, yeah, so that's the thing. I'm gonna have some fun with that, and we're going to see what that's like and how much we can get into it. On the flip side, so Commodore at some point started getting into building these half Commodore, half um, PC machines. The Commodore 64X is mostly what I'm talking about. And lately, a project has come up to revitalize that. Um, So of course I'm not going to spend oodles of money on this and like buy their machine. So I sort of got hold of the case and parts, and we're gonna take what off the shelf stuff I have, put it together, and then throw the operating system Commodore OS Vision 2, which is Linux based, um, on there and see how much fun we have with that. The Commodore 64X is modeled after the Novo, like Commodore 64, Commodore 128 original case, the sleek design, the smaller keys, that sort of thing. The Commodore 64, oh, sorry, the Mega 65 is modeled after the full fat Commodore 64 back in the early 80s with the fat keys with like tactile linear switch style like functioning, and those keys were beautiful. You gotta admit that. Um Wait, I got it backwards. The Mega 65 has no vote right. The Mega 65 has a newer design. The Commodore 64X has the older Fat Boy design. Anyway, Metro hardware. Well, we're throwing a PC motherboard in the 64X case because that's the thing. Because it's not, the case is officially licensed, but yeah, it's modeled after the Commodore 64 style PC they were doing just before they completely went under. And yeah, so it's gonna be on the old Fat Boy hardware, which would be nice. Those keys have good travel, good tactile feedback, and yeah, but also means like a lot of our stuff will be modern. There'll be whatever's on the board: HDMI, DisplayPort, USB, whatever there is in a modern computer. And yeah, so that's basically the gist of that. Um, we're of course going to dedicate one video to each. We're not going to do this like all at once and like. I love the way this makes faces. It's a ghost. Anyway, so yes, we're going to be working with those, and like it's going to be an interesting, like it's going to be an interesting like 2 videos at least, and I have other things in the background, but I'll say that for after we get off over this. And yeah. Oh, by the way, I actually have an Amiga book. Yeah, I know. Amiga never made a notebook. However, leave some of the hardware to me and I will make it happen. Yeah, so maybe like we can get to looking at that at some point. Like a sexy Amiga book to take on the road. Ooh, is that an PC? Is that a? Oh, it's an Amiga. Anyway, all right then. I hope everyone is having a good day. Stay safe, and I will see you on the flip side.